From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Hope you had a nice week so far. I'll be with you for the rest of today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week into the weekend. Taking a look at what we got in store here right now. We're actually doing pretty good, right? Most of those clouds have lifted off to the north, some showers, thunderstorms, Oregon and Washington, but here, really not so much. I don't think that's going to be an issue for the next several days, and we're even getting some pretty good fire weather recovery with that relative humidity values decreasing, or well, increasing rather, through the overnights, but we're not out of the woods yet. Let's take a look at what we got going on right now. So here's the Shelley fire, now up to 15,362 acres, so as of the last update before this, early in the morning, it's expanded about 30 acres, 8% contained here, about 3 miles north of Etna there, continuing to expand very slowly. We also have south of Willow Creek, the Hill Fire, just shy of 3,500 acres. This thing actually had some pretty explosive growth yesterday. We saw some very impressive, almost looked like pyrocumulonimbus clouds popping off out of this thing. Still pretty far away from Willow Creek and Burnt Ranch out here, about 8 miles or so, but of course if this continues to expand with 0% containment, that could be inching that way with time, but we don't want to say that too much, right, because conditions are shaping up a little bit more favorable in the favor of the firefighters, right? So there's a little bit of good news on that aspect. Point Fire as well, this is just east of Garberville and Redway, and it's really pretty small, 85 acres, 90% contained here as of the last update. We've been seeing that number tick up, so I think this one will be out of our hair here pretty quickly here in due time. So let's take a look at the actual conditions here across the area. Let's roll it back there just a second here before we get to the future cast. A little bit of hope for those of us tired of those triple digits. 97 to 99 on average here in the valley, so we might very well break our 19-day streak of triple digits here for today. It's very possible that we actually finally get back out of that range. Now, Trinity County, Siskiyou County, wrapping all the way from Modoc down the 395 corridor. We're probably going to be in the lower 90s there as well. Along the coast, we'll call it 60s pretty consistently there. So triple digits really not looking quite as likely today across the area as a whole, right? But I think they'll be returning pretty quickly, and also the possibility of maybe some monsoon moisture as we head over the next 5 or so days. Not a guarantee though, not quite like what we saw here over the last 5 days, but it's there, right? As we head through the weekend, similar setup. We're going to have high pressure off to our east that might creep to the west, and we do see some signs of that moisture off to the east, but it really is just kind of a perilous distance away. It's not necessarily right on top of us to where it's a slam dunk forecast, and I can tell you with 100% certainty we're going to see those showers, but it's also close enough to where I can't say we're going to be completely dry here as we head through Sunday, Monday, maybe even into Tuesday here as that high starts to creep that way. I mean, notice down here, Carson City, down Sacramento Metro, creeping north just a little bit. It's right there on the edge. So the high pressure system's placement is really going to make or break that forecast. But either way, it doesn't look like it's a huge widespread sort of situation, to be honest with you. I think it's mostly going to stay just kind of hot, right? The heat trend is going to be back as we head over the next several days as that high pressure creeps to the west, right, and kind of puts itself down right on top of us. We might get a little bit of a mediator with this system here, but I don't think we're going to be quite as cool as you'd like, right? I think we're going to get back to the 105 to 110 range in the valley, and for the rest of us, triple digits will be back relatively quickly. So all in all, I think a heat wave will be back pretty soon. So let's go across the area, see what we have in store. We'll start with Trinity County. First things first here, you can really see that trend, right? So through tomorrow, we're going to be back in the 90s, but notice those triple digits returning by the weekend and only escalating as we head through the first half of next week, back to the 105 to 107 range out there in Trinity County. Of course, along the coast, you might see signs of that trend here. Probably going to get back to the mid-60s by Monday, Tuesday, but to be honest with you there, really don't think it's going to be that impactful, right? I think we're going to hold some marine boundary layer cloud cover here, maybe some fog out there, and for the rest of us, maybe some haze from the fires over the next couple of days. But the trend is really more obvious when you head further inland. So take a little further inland, for example, triple digits returning past next weekend into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday there. For the next several days, though, we'll call it mid, maybe upper 90s there. And as we head out towards Siskiyou County, we're going to be back in the upper 90s here, especially west of Weed and Gazelle. And then east there, you're probably going to be in the upper 80s, lower 90s. But let's take Mount Shasta City, for example. You're probably going to be seeing signs of near 100 by the weekend and into the first half of the week as well there. Out towards Modoc County, trend is your friend there if you like the heat. If not, well, too bad, right? We can't control the forecast, unfortunately. I can only relay it to you, and the story is heat coming back here as well, right? So as we hit through tomorrow, very similar to today. We're going to be in the 90s here, but triple digits creeping back in. And of course, we do have that chance, right? Towards the latter half of the weekend, you saw there, it's really kind of hit or miss, and it's not a big chance, but it is a chance nevertheless that we'll have to keep an eye on for the possibility of some of that convection and thunderstorms and temperatures back in the triple digits, right? Now, let's hop down to the eastern mountains, Plumas County, Lassen County, really down the 395 corridor. Trend pretty obvious there too, to be honest with you. We'll be in the 80s and 90s here for today and tomorrow as well, right? Notice from Westwood to Greenville down to Quincy, all the way out to the state line by Doyle, we'll be in the mid to upper 90s, but triple digits come back, yeah, by the weekend. And again, we're kind of watching that Sunday-ish, first half of the weekish time frame for the possibility there of that moisture. At this rate, it's not going to make it much further west than the eastern mountains, so the valley's probably going to stay pretty much dry as a bone as we head over the next week. And temperatures will be back flirting with 110 here down south by Chico, with triple digits very likely returning by tomorrow, to be honest with you. So even if today across the area we break that trend of no triple digits, they're going to be back tomorrow. So even if it is just one day, well, that kind of breaks the record streak, right? It's not necessarily a record yet, but it was on the way, that's for sure. Red Bluff, Redding, Lakehead, same story, right? Notice those 107s, 108s, 109s coming back by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it's going to get back pretty hot here over the next several days. I'll be back with you this evening for more Fresh from the Weather NorCal Command Center. Thanks for joining me, and I'll speak to you then.